Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. For us, today is a very special moment. We're setting a milestone in the history of the BMW Group. As chairman of the board and as an engineer, I'm very proud of this project, behind which you will find true pioneering spirit and great innovative strength. Mobility is and will remain a basic requirement of all human beings, but what's changing fundamentally is how people in different regions of the world over the next decades will want to move around, how they are able to do so, and what they will be allowed in this regard. We're considering the mobility of the future. Others do quite the same, but the question is how far-sighted you go about this process. We want to give answers to the challenges of our time. And for this, we have to look beyond the present. With our Project I, we've taken an exceptional approach, and today we would like to present the first results to you. This is the world premiere of the new BMW i family. Here's the BMW i3 concept and the BMW i8 concept. Ladies and gentlemen, why have we created BMW i? Well, the brand BMW is amongst the most popular and best-known brands in the world. Today, it's a symbol of dynamism and special efficiency. And with e-mobility, we'll add another type of individual mobility, which offers opportunities in times of climate change, but especially for conurbations. Instead of fossil fuels, we're using electricity, and that means that during the drive, no harmful pollutants are emitted. If the energy is from renewable sources, then pure e-vehicles are completely carbon neutral while driving. In the first phase of e-mobility, there were many ideas and quick solutions, but those all entailed significant compromises. And we wanted to offer our customers a convincing premium offer, tailor-made for this new type of drive. And what's even more, not just the vehicles themselves were to be sustainable, but also their production. That's our goal. That's our aim. And for the BMW i vehicles, for the first time ever, in the early phases of the conception, we set binding sustainability goals for all steps of the value chain. And it was well worth it. For once, the BMW i3 concept is completely emission-free on the road as long as the energy comes, or the electricity comes from renewable sources. But on the other hand, its CO2 footprint was taken into account from raw materials through to recycling, and that is shown by the comparison to a highly efficient combustion engine vehicle from the same segment. Across its whole life cycle, the CO2 footprint of the BMW i3 is improved by at least 1/3, and that is with the standard power generation mix or electricity mix that we currently have in Europe. And if we look at renewable energies, then we have a significantly improved CO2 emission reduction to more than 50%, which is unique across the automotive industry. Both cars, by the way, are being built here in Germany in the BMW plant in Leipzig. And in the production of the BMW i3 and i8, we're setting new standards with regards to sustainability. We're reducing the energy intake per car by 50%, and we're reducing the water consumption by 70%. What we want to do is that we want to gain all the energy that's needed for assembly completely from renewable energy sources, and currently we're checking the opportunity to set up our own wind power station on the area of the BMW plant in Leipzig. So you can see that BMW I is setting new standards across the whole value chain. But above all, Born Electric really fits the dynamism of the brand BMW. In the BMW i3, the whole torque is available from the start on. You can accelerate up to top speed immediately. And for us, it's always been clear that we're developing our electric engines ourselves, because the drive is and will remain the heart of our automobiles. And for all this, BMW I is a clear symbol. With BMW I, we're looking beyond our vehicles and we're offering an additional portfolio of mobility services. Innovative connectivity functions link the BMW i3 and the i8 to the lives of the drivers. In addition, we have services that can be used independently of the car. And what's even more, with BMW I, we are appealing to new customers. And we want to reach those customers in their specific environments. That's why we're opening up new distribution channels. And here we rely on selected dealers, a mobile sales force, and the internet, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, BMW I is much more than an innovative e-vehicle for megacities and an extremely economical hybrid sports car. It's about a new understanding of mobility. As the BMW Group, we share one vision. We want to be the leading provider of premium products and premium services for individual mobility. BMW I is an important step into this direction. My colleague, Klaus Dreger, will explain details of the cars to you now. Thank you very much for your attention. Ladies and gentlemen, the majority of the e-cars that are currently on the market are so-called conversion cars. So these are series cars in which the combustion engine was simply replaced by an electric drive. But conversions are always a compromise. We want to offer alternative drives without any compromises. And that's why we developed these cars from scratch as pure electric cars or as plug-in hybrids. The BMW i3 concept and the BMW i8 concept encompass the characteristics of BMW I. They are tailor-made for alternative drives. They rely on extreme lightweight constructions, and they offer superior driving dynamisms with ranges that are suitable for everyday driving. They set standards with regards to a sustainable value chain. The BMW i3 concept is being driven electrically. With its range of 150 kilometers, it is perfectly suited for driving in urban environments. Thanks to its dimensions, it's suitable for everyday work. It has 4 seats, wide opening, opposing doors, and a trunk capacity of approximately 200 liters. But 2 points I would like to underline. For one, the innovative vehicle architecture, and on the other hand, the electric drive. The BMW i3 concept is based on a life drive architecture, as we call it, and that turns it light, agile, safe, and spacious. The body is separated into two horizontal modules. The drive module, which contains the drivetrain. It's made of aluminum and it offers enormous advantages. For once, we set a low center of gravity and the perfect axle weight distribution for the BMW i3 concept, which creates high agility and the BMW typical driving feel. And on the other hand, through the central integration of the battery, we can offer a spacious and clearly designed interior, which means that we offer roominess on a very small floor space. On top of the drive module, we have the live module with a passenger compartment made of carbon fiber reinforced plastics, or CFRP for short. It's the first large series car, ladies and gentlemen, worldwide, whose body is made in large parts of CFRP. That is a revolution. With the live drive architecture, we reduce the weight compared to a conversion car by approximately 250 to 350 kilograms. And that means more driving dynamism, higher ranges per kilowatt hours of electricity. The e-engine and the power electronics have been completely developed by BMW. The engine offers 125 kilowatts and a torque of 250 Newton meters. From 0 to 60 kilometers per hour, the BMW i3 concept accelerates in less than 4 seconds, and we reach the 100 kilometers per hour in less than 8 seconds. At the socket, the batteries are fully loaded after 6 hours, and with a fast charging device, after only 1 hour, we reach 80% battery load. Sustainability plays a large role when it comes to BMW i, and the interior also fulfills this demand. We've reduced renewable and naturally treated raw materials. Parts of the instrument panel, of the door panels, and the floor section consist of natural fibers. 25% of the plastic used in the interior are from recycled material or renewable raw materials. Let me now talk about the BMW i8 concept, ladies and gentlemen. In this plug-in hybrid, the combination of an electric engine and a combustion engine creates extremely sporty and dynamic driving at extremely low consumption levels. The live drive architecture in this case is targeted for the characteristic of a sports car. Both the engines of the BMW i8 concept are integrated in the front and rear axle modules. And all that is linked through the live module, which consists of ultra-light and extremely torsion-resistant CFRP. Therefore, also this car has a low center of gravity, which is typical for a sports car. Together with the positioning of the engines right on top of the axles, that leads to a perfect axle weight distribution of 50% on the front axle and 50% on the rear axle. This plug-in hybrid combines the electric engine of the BMW i3 concept on the front axle with the high-performance 3-cylinder petrol engine with an output of 164 kilowatts on the rear axle. So that offers 3 different drive modes. Purely electric, for example, while driving in a city. Second mode, a combination of e-engine and combustion engine for quick acceleration and sporty driving. And then the third mode, only with the combustion engine, for example, on the Autobahn. And ladies and gentlemen, these are the values. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in less than 5 seconds. And it consumes less than 3 liters of fuel for that. Ladies and gentlemen, no other car with a pure combustion engine on this performance level reaches those figures. And the highlight of the plug-in concept is the electric energy is taken from the socket, and therefore ideally from eco-electricity. Fully loaded, the BMW i concept has a range of up to 35 kilometers in purely electric mode, which is sufficient for most trips within a city. The BMW i concept offers space for up to 4 people and is therefore really suitable for everyday usage. If you look at the design, the dynamic proportions truly visualize it and underline its sporty performance. And the sporty character of the BMW i8 concept is, of course, also reflected on the interior. The cockpit is extremely oriented towards the driver. So with the BMW i8 concept, we have the sports car of a new generation, pure, emotional, and sustainable. Of course, I would like to tell you much more about these cars. But today in the afternoon, you will have workshops in which we can go much more into depth and you will receive more in-depth information. And that's why I would like to thank you for your kind attention. Thank you very much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to announce a surprise guest. I'm very happy that he was able to make the time to come here today. He is a great supporter of e-mobility in Germany. He keeps himself testing, and some time ago he spent some time driving the Mini E. Please welcome the German Minister of Transport, Dr. Peter Ramsauer. Dear Mr. Quandt, dear Dr. Reithofer, ladies and gentlemen, who I can only see very vaguely behind these bright floodlights. In the life of a federal minister of transport, just as in the life of a chairman of the supervisory board or a CEO, there are days that are more pleasant and days that are less pleasant. Today, I, as the Minister of Transport, I consider this to one of the absolutely pleasant days in the days of my professional life. And I would like to thank you very, very much indeed that I have the honor to be present at this fantastic presentation. And I also think it is only right that this presentation is a good bit ahead of the IAA in September, where I myself and the Federal Chancellor will be present. But I think we all know an excellent product needs excellent and singular presentation. And having only been here for a couple of minutes, I can say, Dr. Reithofer, and you have really managed to be very successful in doing that, and this is a fantastic occasion and event. I keep being asked by journalists in the middle of this legislature that we have more or less reached now after 1 3/4 years of your term in office. What are you particularly proud of? What development in the area of your ministry are you particularly proud of? And with full conviction, I can answer that I am extremely proud that this fantastic German automobile industry, and in particular BMW, managed to really develop electric mobility. And I think you will all agree with me that this is something that was recognized a long time before I became the Minister of Transport. It took a very long time for the idea of electric mobility actually became ignited in Germany. And right at the very beginning of my term of office, when we used to talk about electric mobility, people said, well, in Germany, it's not going to happen, it won't be successful, and everybody, all the others in the world are better than us, and all these people with self-pity and resignation, the way that Germans often look on themselves. If you travel a lot through the world, which automatically I have to do with my office, one finds that the perception of the rest of the world, of us Germans, that is light years away in a positive sense of the way we perceive ourselves. And that was still the case, also the case 2 or 3 years ago in the field of electric mobility. Tristesse was the name of the day, and now we actually managed, not to put it too negatively, but to get out of this modesty and humility, and to really stand behind our know-how in the field of electric mobility, and the belief and confidence in our know-how, in our competence in this highly sophisticated state-of-the-art technology, and that we can actually provide worldwide innovations, and that is something that we can be proud of. People kept referring to the battery. Well, yes, of course, and I think that was our own fault to a certain extent. If we get rid of electrochemical faculties in the universities because we thought we don't need large storage capacities, well, then it's our own fault. But we are catching up very quickly. But the battery is only one thing. And I always said the building of electric cars is not only linked to batteries, but is also linked with automobile construction. And who's better than that in this area than us Germans? And who's better than BMW? Security, elegance in the vehicle. You just have to look to the right or to my left and see what we have come up with. So we have leadership here, and I think Mr. Quanta, Mr. Dr. Reithofer, BMW, and I as a Bavarian, and not talking as a Minister of Transport here at the moment, we can really be proud that worldwide we are leading in this field. And this is not only about targets in terms of climate and the environment, and it's not only about economic implications, but above all, and I, as an economist, always was taught to look at the sales figures, but when we develop electric cars, we are also talking about the fascination. Of course, we want to buy and build cars which can be driven on a day-to-day basis, but they have to be fascinating, and the fascination for such a product is at least as important as talking about sales figures and purchase figures. If I look around in Europe, I think you can see a correlation that especially the countries that are in the worst financial position pay the biggest purchase premiums. I think what is most important is that the product is fascinating in and of itself, and what we can see here is the proof of that. As far as the politics are concerned and the politicians are concerned, we have done everything. And I'm personally fully behind this policy in favor and for electric mobility. I don't have to go into detail here, and I think Dr. Reithofer, you were always saying that the platform of electric mobility was and is a success. After we presented the final report of the national platform, and that was on the 16th of May. Shortly after that, we developed the government program on electric mobility with a very clear direction as to how we are going to go forward. And we defined how the federal government is going to subsidize these measures. And we are just preparing a tender for transferring 8 electric mobility regions into 4 or 5 future showcase regions. This is a tender in which everybody can participate. I don't want to preempt everything, but I am sure of one thing, that Bavaria and certain parts of Bavaria have the best possible preconditions to give a hand in a promising bid. And due to my position and due to the fact that I have to be neutral as the Minister of Transport, I cannot say any more than that. But my visions are that in Germany, and especially with these types of products as we're seeing today, we want to be the leading providers, offers, and of course we want to be the leading market. But above all, we want to be the leading providers, because that would mean that the rest of the world would supply and come here as well. In the past, we Germans always built the best traditional cars in the world. And I hope that in the future we will also build the best electric cars. And that is why I personally, and I can say on behalf of the German government, that these flagships, these elegant and fascinating flagships of electric mobility, these are products that I want to congratulate you on behalf of myself and everybody in the government.